David, we had the conversation. You were here present with us when we discussed whether God exists or not. That was a really good discussion that we had on that podcast. And we've also talked about whether we're alone in the universe. And so we tend to be a little more skeptical. But you've seen and heard some things, haven't you?
Yes, and this fascinates me because I'm going to ask you to go to my old office, which was 1802 Houston. Beautiful old building, close to where Javier used to have his building. I was there for 25 years, and I've always been skeptical. That's part of being a lawyer. But I've always been fascinated by the paranormal. Growing up in Hebronville, we had nothing better to do but to sit around and listen to all grandmas talk about La Luz del Llano, El Monte. And I have probably 20 books on the paranormal and on ghosts in my library. I was able to find out that ghosts in history have been mentioned from Mesopotamia, 3,500 years ago. The Epic of Gilgamesh talks about people talking about ghosts. Babylon also. So, and then Shakespeare, 4 of his plays mention ghosts. So apparently human beings have been, and of course our Native Americans and the spirits. But I've always been a skeptic, and I had never ever imagined being in my office, which I moved in 92, and all of a sudden we started hearing noises. And I would always say, well, there's got to be something. But you hear steps, you hear things falling, chandeliers would fall. So I would tell the girls, walk around. And I knew a gentleman that did what you do back about 20 years ago, and I asked him to come to my office. Had the same equipment probably that you did. And he was able to say, yes, definitely there's some activity going on. But he never could really tell me what it was, hearing 5-year-old kids talking. Also, I had a client that was psychic. And she came in one time and she walked around my office for a while. And at the end, she said, yeah, you have at least 3 spirits. They're all women. And they're all jealous of you. And I said, wait a minute. I thought it was till death do us part. No, it's forever. And so she was able to tell me, well, this house has been here for over 120 years. A lot of people have lived and died here. And some spirits refuse to leave. But just a few anecdotes here is my secretaries would hear steps up and down. They'd see things pass by the side of their eye. Didn't know what it was. They'd go upstairs, which they quit going. Somebody would be knocking on the bathroom door, and they'd open it. There's nobody there. I had a company that worked upstairs for about a year, and they would always complain to me because I said, hey, I don't have a key. But they would leave, let's say, the radio on, and their desks were the way they left them. The next morning they'd get there with stuff all over the floor, and the radio was for a different channel station. So we couldn't understand what was happening. But again, all I'm telling you, I never saw what they call apparitions, but I did see and hear. I heard a lot of activity. My secretaries would be eating at one of our conference tables, just 2 of them, and all of a sudden one of the chairs would start moving back. I said, don't worry about it. They're just joining you for lunch. So we tended to laugh about it. But again, they would always tell me, well, they're at it again, David. They'd say, the minute you walk in, they'd hear laughter in the kitchen. I said, well, at least they're happy.
Right.
But there were certain things that we just could never explain. Dark, lonely nights. Stormy nights. You'd go upstairs to get some books, and all of a sudden the blinds would keep going up and down. Say, okay, ladies, I'm leaving. We'll see you later.
Good night.
But I accepted that whatever it was, I said they were here before I got here, and they'll be here after I leave.
But couldn't there have been a plausible explanation for any of
That,
this?
believe me, I tried to find out a plausible explanation.
Or the mind just conjured it up? Because like we've talked about this before, the mind is the most powerful tool on the planet.
But everyone I spoke to that were having this episode
Uh-huh.
has a story.
Well, I'm sure.
Everybody that I've talked
got
to
2 or 3 of my
told
own.
me something. Well,
If-
I've experienced this.
Yeah,
I've seen this.
If I
Like,
may.
everybody had a story.
the neighborhood, the old St. Peter's, every house around there has its entities. Your office,
Oh, yeah.
you
No,
were
no,
telling me,
I-
you had a name for him.
Oh yeah, Julio.
Julio, good old Julio.
Not
But
Julio Garcia.
everybody, and they were telling me stories. I ain't coming to your office anymore.
So